Yeah, kid! Welcome everybody back to another episode of the Handsome Homebuyer Podcast. I'm Charles, your host, aka the Handsome Homebuyer. 1 minute, sometimes Captain Permit the next. This podcast is brought to you by none other than, as always, Captain Permit. If you need permits, plans, realtors, if you're listing a property, you need to know if you have a problem with the deck, the dormer, the shed, the finished basement, bathrooms, you name it, the town wants to get money out of you for it. So call us beforehand, 516-513-8838. Let us do a free search for you. Let us find out if you are missing a permit or have an open permit. This way, when you go to the listing appointment, you are a rock star. Who else does that? Nobody except you guys, all right? Obviously, I'm the Handsome Home Buyer. So, agents, homeowners, if you have a house that smells like cat pee, is dated from the 1960s, has 6 inches of mold on the wall, or human waste floating past the basement steps, I've pretty much seen it all. Dead raccoons. No dead people yet, thankfully. Call me, 516-777-SOLD. All right. So I got 2 guests today. Unbelievable dynamic duo, Barbie and Ken. I'm calling them the darlings of the real estate industry. Rebecca Cohen and Aaron Bates from Century 21. What's up?
Hello.
See, you feel good now. I felt. See, you just got into it.
I was not expecting that one.
Oh, what? The dynamic duo?
No, the Barbie and Ken.
The Barbie and Ken. Yeah, that just came to me. I told you.
We're not tall enough to be that.
For those of you who don't know, this isn't like any other podcast. We don't edit these things. We don't sit there. We don't do filters. We don't do edits. I myself was probably born without a filter. Maybe there was a glitch on the assembly line when I was born, but we don't. So we're rough, rugged, and raw here.
That would actually be a great Halloween costume, being a filter.
Oh, I actually thought about that the other day, and I meant to text it to you, and then I started working.
Yeah, damn it.
For those of you who have met, for those of you,
in the way of my Halloween costume.
you could see people that they're taking over. It's going to be all about them, and then me on the sideline. So for those of you who've never met them, they're a real estate team. They're real estate agents. They're definitely, in my opinion, the best looking team out there on Long Island. They're pretty much leading the charge. We were just talking about beforehand about how there's a lot of teams out there as far as real estate agents go, but you really don't hear about them. It's kind of like one main person who allegedly sells 100, 200, 300 houses a year, and then they have a team. But them together, they've structured it in a unique way. They have unbelievable social media content. They're really giving a lot of value. They're helping people. I definitely think you should check them out. Social media. What's your social media handles?
Aaron Bates Real Estate Team.
Aaron Bates Real Estate Team. All right. So I'm gonna dig in now, guys. All right. I want to kind of get a little bit of your background. Like, I know both of you guys are not from New York.
I'm from New York. Upstate New York.
Do we classify that as New York?
They say Canada.
Canada? Wait, where upstate New York?
Finger Lakes, between Rochester and Syracuse.
Yeah, dude, that's country, bro.
And I never cow tip, so
you never cow tip there. Why not?
Because it doesn't happen. You can't cow tip.
That's a fallacy?
I think so. I don't know. I really don't know. I've never tried it.
What did you guys do up there for fun?
I don't know, everything. Same thing you guys would do, except we just don't have the city next to us. And
we didn't really do anything that fun when I was a kid. I mean, we went to like the elementary school, and I rode my skateboard around because I was so hopped up on sugar and hyper that I could never sit still. And then my friends got bombed on the playground. I would have liked the cow tipping thing. What did you do? You're from St. Louis, obviously.
We did try cow tipping one night in high school.
And what happened?
Nothing. It doesn't work.
Meaning you just push the cow and it doesn't move?
Well, we got too afraid to touch the cow, and I think some of the boys tried to push the cow, and it didn't do anything. And then, it's just weird. Like cow tipping, really?
No, I don't know.
We just did house parties, or we did
wood
farm
parties.
Yeah. Woods parties. Yeah, we would go out into the woods or go out on somebody's piece of land.
Oh,
everybody has land where I'm from.
Did you guys hear that? Say that again. Land. Oh no! Now you're trying to do it with land. There's a little bit of a Midwestern twang in there, but you don't really have.
It's mixed. Well, I've been here for almost 15 years this September. Actually,
how old are you? 33.
30. I'll be 35 in a month.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You look good, man. Not one wrinkle, nothing.
I got some gray hairs.
I don't think so.
Really
well, because it's blonde. You're lucky.
Yeah, right.
At least you got hair, dude. I haven't had hair since
87.
Come
on. Am I that old?
No,
it's my birthday next week.
Oh.
So you have a November birthday
39?
too?
October.
Is this 39?
October 30th. Oh yeah, we're right there.
You're right there.
Is this 39, Alicia?
Yes.
You're going to be 39?
Yeah. That's weird. No, 39's fine. Between 35 and 40, I kind of feels like all the same. When you hit 40, like, people are wishing me a happy 40th now, and it's fucking weird.
I just did my sister's surprise party for her 40th down in North Carolina.
Oh, if Rebecca's daughter is listening, oh wow, that was a heavy accent. You hear that? We were talking about before about how I have a heavy accent. If she's listening, it's not okay. If I curse, it's not okay. Like, don't. I do it. It's bad. I'm trying to stop it. Disregard.
Do a shout out to her.
Shout out to Annie and Mary, who are at school right now. They better be learning hard and listening to their teachers.
So Rebecca has twin girls, which we were just talking about before. I wish I had a twin brother. I don't know if the world can physically handle two of somebody similar to myself, but it would have been entertaining if nothing less. So, I mean, that kind of adds another dynamic to it. Let's break into it. So, A, you guys are not from New York, but for whatever reason, you ended up transplanting to Long Island, the happiest place on earth. And then how did you guys get into real estate? And then ultimately, how did you guys come together as a team? Because I know I had originally heard of you when you were at Cruise, Aaron, right?
Yeah.
Aaron has a ton of like distressed real estate, short sale, REO experience. And then did you start at Century 21 or you started somewhere else?
I started at Century 21, yes.
Okay. Oh, so you're like, you started there, you're still there.
Yes.
You're bleeding Century 21. What is it? Yellow?
Yes.
What color is that?
It's relentless golden gray.
Oh, okay. I'm colorblind, so Lord only knows. Legitimately colorblind.
The whole branding just changed and everything.
I know the signs are good. I like them.
So funny story actually how I got in, and it's just shy of 7 years. I was unemployed, kind of just bartending, and doing my own thing, doing everything to get by. And I get a phone call one day from my ex-girlfriend's brother. It was, "Hey man, how's it going? What are you doing with your life?" And I'm like, "Excuse me? What am I doing with my life?"
I'm sure it wasn't in an offensive way.
Well, that's the way it sounded at first.
Oh, okay.
He's like, "No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it like that."
There's a lot of money in bartending, bro.
Oh, I crushed bartending.
I always wanted to be a bartender.
Oh, I crushed bartending.
I always wanted to, like, do the tricks like Tom Cruise in Cocktail. We can, like, fling the bottles around.
I wasn't like that.
Nah.
I would just say, like, a professional friend maker.
Oh, you got a fierce accent, too. I just heard it.
Oh, shit.
It's sexy, though, bro. It's a lot better than the New York coffee talk thing. Girls appreciate what you got a lot more than what I got. So keep going. All right, so bartending.
Well, so I was doing all that. So I'm on the phone, and he's like, "Listen, you've always been my boy. I know things happen between you and my sister. I think you should get into real estate." And I'm like kind of thrown off. Like,
when was the last time you talked to him before he said that to you? Like before he called you? You talked to him regularly, or it's like 2 years goes by?
It was probably like definitely a good length of time went by. So it was a random phone call. I just happened to pick up, and I had his number.
Oh, yeah.
And then he goes, "You really should get into real estate." And I'm like, "Why would you tell me that?" He's like, "Listen, you've always worked hard. You're always a hustler. I think you'd be great at it. I have a place for you to go." I go, "No, all right.
Wow.
What's the real thing behind?" He's like, "Listen, I do mortgages. You're gonna make me money. I'm gonna put you in a place." So he put me in Cruise, and then I started with.
That's interesting.
Does
he do your mortgages now?
I didn't even give him enough business. Still, I still owe him a ton.
Oh yeah.
So, great guy. Glad he did it.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
See, like, what's his name has that speech? Who's that guy? That important guy? The guy who invented Apple? What's his name? Steve Jobs. Oh yeah, that guy. So, anyway, so he has this talk at Stanford. You guys ever heard this on YouTube?
Maybe.
He does like the speech. So he does this speech, like the commencement speech when they're graduating from Stanford. Sick. It's like 15 minutes. I go on my bike, or I used to just like listen to like motivational YouTube shit. It just like gets me going when you just feel like you just can't go anymore, right? So he has this part about connecting the dots and about how you look back on your life later on and about how you connect the dots, but you can't connect the dots going forward. You can only connect the dots going backwards. So it's like relationship. Mm-hmm. Hopefully it was good. Some good things about it. But the cool thing is your ex-girlfriend's brother calls you up randomly, and now here you are as one of the darlings of real estate.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, yeah, definitely. No, it was a great thing. I mean,
and then, well, you were, at least he claims that he mentored you. I'm going to give him the credit for it on here. You can choose to shoot him down or not. But Drucker claims to have been your mentor. So, Drucker's like, every time I tell Drucker's like, "Aaron's my boy. He's my fucking man." He goes, "I trained him at Cruise. I taught him everything I know, and he's a powerhouse." I'm getting him on. I'm dragging him on next week.
Oh, great!
As soon as I hit you up, I'm like, I gotta get Drucker on here.
Interesting.
Jacked out of his mind, traps over his ears.
Explicit. It's gonna just be all explicit content.
I love that guy.
It's gonna be beep, 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 beep.
That's what we need on here. That's what we need on here. We're gonna.
Well, yeah. So I was put on his team.
Okay.
And learned the ropes in the REO business. Which, I mean, the first month I'm crawling on top of a roof, breaking into windows, yelling at squatters to get out, going into houses on Guy Lombardo.
Action.
And Guy Lombardo, not Freeport.
Oh, I was thinking. I was gonna say, dude,
that's
Freeport
right.
that
I just
bad.
sold the house. No, not Freeport.
Where's Guy Lombardo? In the city?
Yeah.
Where, Brooklyn?
Brooklyn. And I didn't know. I didn't know any better. And so I'm going to this house to show this investor a house in Guy Lombardo. Guy doesn't show up. I go to the house anyways. I walk in this house. There's mounds of shit, human shit, about 2 feet high.
Oh yeah, 2 feet?
2 feet.
That's a record.
It was like 5 of them, like all over the place. And then I get out and I get on the phone with Keith. No idea. He's like, "You were on Guy Lombardo? What? White boy like you?"
I was just gonna say, I mean, bro, like you're country, Bill. Like you were like blonde. What color eyes? Green.
Oh, you should. I had hair down to my shoulders.
Oh, I wish I had hair like that.
So I was like a surfer. Never surfed in my life, but I had that look. So I'm going into this house, and he's telling me about this, and I'm like, "Yeah, no, I was fine." He's like, "Dude, you have some balls, man."
Either that, or you just or you had no idea where you were going.
Dumb and naive. That's really what it was.
This is Drucker telling you.
Yeah.
So Drucker's like, "Listen, I got to take you under my wing, or you're gonna end up getting shot out here in these streets."
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure you knew I was going there that day, but you didn't give me a heads up or something.
You know what? I gotta be. I'm not a real estate agent. I've never been, but I know a decent amount about Cruise. My ex worked at Cruise, and I feel like Cruise was an awesome. I mean, now Century 21 is Cruise, but it's not exactly the same of what it was, 5-10 years ago. Kind of like a different feel, I think. What the hell do I know? I'm not there, but that's just what I feel, and I feel like it was probably an awesome education.
Absolutely, I've learned a lot from Keith. I've learned a lot from Mike Kendall. Yeah. I've learned a lot from a lot of those guys. Even a maniac Artie. I don't know if you ever met.
I've heard of the legend that is Artie. Do you know Artie? Have you met Artie?
I don't.
She's heard conversations.
Yeah, I've just heard
on the phone with him.
So Artie's like an OG realtor who was like in the REO game when it was the Wild Wild West, and they were
pretty much.
Yeah.
Like I heard stories about him where he would just be sitting behind a house, like next to the pool, just lounged out, getting suntan, waiting for people to show up.
I love him already. Sometimes I feel like I was born in the wrong time. Like I feel like I should have been born like, I don't know.
Well, now it seems like we have to be
ago.
so prim and proper about everything we do and watch
sucks.
Everything we say, and it's like it does suck. It does suck. Everything you do, you have to watch out what you're doing.
Yeah, I know. That's everybody. See, it's not just the police and the politicians, it's the realtors too. Oh yeah, every time I do a lot of rentals, so every time I talk about like a rental, the realtor's like, you gotta like keep it really PC with the rentals before like we even start talking about rentals as far as like, what you're looking for in a tenant, et cetera, et cetera. They think that like the world takes the fun out of everything.
Oh yeah,
we have a lot of rules.
Yeah, we have a lot of rules, and we get asked questions all the time. And the first thing I have to say is, well, I'm not allowed to talk about that because I could lose my license.
Well, one being that you would think as a potential customer that you would be able to talk about school district. We can't talk about school district.
What?
We can't say anything other than what school district it is, basically.
You can't say if something is rated better than another. I mean, that's public knowledge. It's like our want-to...
It is, and we have to tell you to go do your due diligence.
Nah, really?
Tell you to go...
So we're sitting in Farmingdale right now. So
I can give you websites and tell you what website to go to.
I want to curse in this moment, but after having that conversation about your daughter, I feel bad. I do. I want to be like, we're raising a bunch of like bleeps, but I feel like I can't do it. You guys input whatever you want, like whatever. Anyway, so yeah, it's not all sunshine and rainbows, I guess. So so St. Louis.
Yes, I'm from St. Louis.
To Century 21.
Yes.
Bleeding gold and what was that other color? Black.
Well, it was gold and black. What did you say?
It's relentless gold.
Relentless gold.
And there's some. I keep forgetting to look up what the actual gray color is called.
How did so then how did you end up segueing into real estate? And then I guess the two of you guys collectively, how did this come together to form the force?
Okay, so I'm actually a former teacher. I was a teacher.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
In St. Louis or here?
In St. Louis.
Okay.
When I moved here, I got my teaching license here. It's very hard to get a teaching job here.
Yes. I guess it depends on the cycles.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I didn't know anybody, too. So it's not like I grew up here and I knew people. It was really hard.
What did you teach?
I taught, like, 2nd grade and 3rd grade.
Oh, that's cool. So you get them
for a
with
while, I taught technology also.
like tech ed?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I taught. First, I taught English as a second language. Then I taught technology.
Okay.
And this is like when I was in my beginning years when I was trying to get a full.
Do you speak another language?
I don't. I can understand other languages to an extent, but I don't speak another language.
See, that always like blew my mind because I'd meet people who are like, yeah, I'm going to like China to teach people how to speak English. I'm like, oh, that's sick. You speak Chinese? They're like, no.
You don't have to.
That's what they say to me. I'm like, I don't understand how that works.
You would think that you'd have to do both.
It's like teaching a baby how to talk. You're starting from scratch. They have no context. You're just building on the context that they have, basically. Like, I had one student who knew absolutely nothing. I was literally like walking her around the hallways, like locker, hall, bathroom, nurse, office, desk.
This was what, in the Lou or here?
This is in St. Louis.
I love St. Louis. I've been to St. Louis.
It's a great city.
There's parts of St. Louis that are dope, and then there's parts that are worse than Guy Lombardo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Apparently. Yeah. But the barbecue kicks ass.
Yeah. It's great barbecue. So, fast forward, I moved here. I spent a couple of years while my kids are still really young.
Okay.
Tutoring. So, I did my own tutoring business, basically.
Damn.
And
can I ask how old you are? Is that okay? Do we not
how
talk?
Old I am?
Yeah. Do we not talk about that? It just feels like you've done a lot of
we
stuff.
already put it on our video too.
Oh, did we?
Knows how old we are.
Oh, how old are you?
I'm 35.
Okay.
So I moved here, tutored until my kids started kindergarten, and I always kind of wanted to do real estate, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it. Like, just do it already. Stop thinking about it. Stop worrying about what happens. Just do it.
And this is why you're looking for a teaching job. You're frustrated. You're like, this is bullshit.
I totally gave up on it because I was like, you know what? Also, the other thing is that I don't want to have a boss. Like, I don't want to. I want to be in charge of my own stuff.
I'm with that.
That's why I love tutoring, because I was my own boss, and I ran a pretty sick tutoring business.
Why is that funny? That's awesome.
It was great. It was really, really great. Like, I just put it out there and I did it. And I worked my ass off, and I did really well for, a business that I did for 3 years. See,
it's kind of an interesting point, because I have this, I'm not going to say argument, because I don't really fight with anybody, but I have this, discussion with people all the time, where, I have a friend, works for, this crazy tech company. He's brilliant, brilliant guy, and he is in charge of building, Pitney Bowes. So Pitney Bowes is, their gangster. So he, essentially, what he does is he builds businesses within Pitney Bowes with their money as a test, and if they take off, Pitney Bowes launches them and takes them away from him, launches them as things that make tens of hundreds of millions of dollars.
Right.
So I say to him, bro, you're brilliant. You've launched at least 6 of these things that have made Pitney Bowes an insane amount of money, and then they F you on your bonus every year, and then tell you that the company as a whole didn't make enough money, even though you just made them $100 million. Why don't you just do it for yourself? He goes, I don't know. I need the comfort of having some big kind of corporation around me. And then I would argue with him because he's like, otherwise it's risky. And I'm like, I would argue to say to you that anything other than you owning your own business is working for somebody else is the riskiest thing you can do. Right? Because at any moment, if they decide that they don't want you around, or the market this or that, for whatever reason, they can fire you like that. Whereas if you're in your own business, you're in charge of your own destiny. So if you, obviously everything is on you, but at the same time, you control your own fate.
Right. That was actually a big part of my decision too, was because I ended up getting a job at one point, and
not in real estate, I said.
No, a teaching job. I got a teaching job.
Oh, nice. Where?
I didn't take it. It was in.
Do you want to talk about it? No.
It was in Merrick schools.
Oh yeah, North Merrick or South Merrick? Because there's a big difference.
South Merrick.
Oh, that's why those people are. Oh, okay, we can't talk about that. Sorry.
No. So anyway, what happened was I got a job.
That's a tough.
I was going to begin the job.
That's a tough segment of Merrick right there.
I was going to begin the job, and my daughter ended up having to have this treatment, and which required me to have to take her every day to the doctor for a couple of weeks. And I was like, you know what? I can't start the job. You can't go into a job and be like, by the way, I can only work half days for for the next 3 weeks. My first 3 weeks here. Makes sense, right? So you can't really do that. And that was like my final straw where I was like, you know what? Like, I'm not going to have somebody else be my boss. I'm going to be my own boss. I'm going to do my own job. I'm going to be in charge. And I'm going to just go and do something that I've always wanted to do.
So when you look back on it now, at that point, at that moment, was it like, you just didn't want to do the teaching thing? Were you just like,
No, I love teaching, but I feel like actually my teaching experience helps me do my job better because so much of our job, especially with first-time homebuyers, is educating them about what they're looking for.
Nice.
So I think that everything that I did helps me do this better.
Connecting the dots. Steve Jobs. I'll get it that time. So, on a personal note, so you at that point in your life, were you a single mother at that point in your life or no?
I was in the process of becoming a single mother.
Okay, so basically, we'll say single mother, not working, looking for a job, twin girls, right? And then takes the leap of faith, which my point of this being is, there's no excuses, people, right? I don't want to hear any excuses. You say you want to be a real estate investor, you want to be a real estate agent, you want to be a chiropractor, an astronaut, I don't care.
It's all or nothing.
No excuses. Grab your balls if you have balls. If not, grab whatever you have and jump.
Put your big girl panties on and figure it out.
And jump.
Figure out your own shit.
All right. So now we're in real estate.
Mm-hmm.
Boom, we got it. How does the Aaron Bates, Rebecca Cohen team come together? Because I feel like maybe I didn't know this until I resurfaced on social media like a little while ago.
Okay.
Right? That I didn't know that you could,
didn't know
I was detached from reality for 9 months during my social media cleansing.
Oh, okay.
And now I'm back.
And that happened to be the same time at which we...
Oh, that's what I was going to ask you. Like, I don't know how long it's been going on for. And now I'm like mainlining social media.
Okay, so I joined Century 21
Mm-hmm.
in January. Not this January, a couple Januaries ago.
Okay.
And I met Aaron, and we would talk now and then at the office or whatever. Our broker manager there was encouraging me, even though I had just begun, to go to this convention that we have every year.
Okay.
And I was like, I don't know, like I'm a mom, I have 2 kids, I can't just like pick up and go to Vegas for a couple days. And Mike Sims, yeah. Mike Sims, who actually got me in Century 21.
Steve Sims.
That's a different person.
There's 2 Sims.
Simuits.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So they were like, you have to go. And so finally I was like, all right, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go. So we go to this convention. It's in Las Vegas. It's for Century 21.
Okay.
And we're talking about like what classes and things we're going to go to. And I was like, look, I want to learn everything about video because everything that I'm learning so far is that we need to be doing video if we're going to be successful.
Okay. And you guys are the king and queen of the car video.
Yeah.
We kind of try to make that our own thing. Right. That didn't start off like that.
Didn't
like
start
I said,
off. It was an evolution. So we ended up going to all the same classes. We everybody thinks like, oh, we were in Vegas for 3 days. We just partied.
We partied.
Partied
But
really,
we went
really
to
hard.
a lot
But
of
we went to
education.
every class. We were in class the whole time when we were not.
Do you
in
drink?
Clubs.
Yeah.
Do you drink? Yeah, you do. I guess it kind of comes with
yeah.
it. I want to be the first sober. I want to be the first non-drinking bartender. Obviously, that didn't work out. Maybe that's the reason. I can't picture. What kind of drunk is he? Yeah.
No,
I mean, you're happy all the time. I'm just curious. I was always curious to know because they say your drunk self is your real self, right?
Well, he's happy. He's happy. Yeah, he's happy.
I'm just curious. I'm not judging.
He's a really good dancer.
I like to dance.
Are you a good dancer?
I mean, I don't really think so, but I mean,
is there video of this?
I hope not.
Probably
there
not.
Probably is somewhere.
Probably some from some random wedding.
Probably there is actually.
Not some random.
My cousin
You guys
Paula
go to
has
a
a
wedding
bunch
every
of
weekend.
What?
You guys go to a wedding every weekend.
It's been
Seems
crazy.
like that.
I've had like years.
You guys have gone to more weddings this year than I have in my entire life, and I fucking love weddings.
Weddings are fun.
Weddings are awesome.
If the music's good and the food is good.
Yeah. I think music first, food second. Usually the food at weddings stinks.
Usually it does have some level of stink.
Well, the main meal usually sucks, but just as long as the cocktail hour is good, it's fine because nobody really eats after that anyway.
Right.
That's what I think. The cocktail hour is key, and then music second.
How is she as a dancer?
Music first.
Be honest.
Great dancer.
Is that true?
I mean,
he was quick. That just either means he's smart or he's telling the truth.
I don't know if I'm a great dancer, but I'm kind of dance with on the basis of I don't give a fuck, and I just want to
Then that's
fun.
it. Then it's fine. No two
Like,
steps in this room.
Let the music take me over. Take me away, Whitney.
We'll bleep that one out for Annie.
That and some Jack Daniels or what's your drink of choice?
I like vodka.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
like
say that.
Tito's.
Oh yeah, everybody loves. They say vodka doesn't have a taste. It like takes the characteristics of whatever.
It has a taste.
I think it tastes like
it.
rocket fuel. Or it smells like rocket fuel. But I'm very sensitive. Like if I take a sip of alcohol, my tongue will go numb.
Yeah.
Because I'm like the soberest person ever. What about you? What's your drink of choice? They say you can tell a lot about a person by the kind of what they drink. I might have made that up, but it sounds good.
I mix it up, but I'm a beer and shot guy.
Oh yeah.
I like whiskey.
Oh,
Irish whiskey.
yeah.
I like beers. I'll do a vodka soda.
You'll mix it up, no problem, huh? You go back and forth. You have a cast iron stomach, huh?
It's bad.
Is it?
I bartended for like 14
Well, bro,
years.
you were a professional lacrosse player in my mind, and a professional and a bartender.
That's what brought me down here was lacrosse. So.
Yeah, I mean, the Long Island's the lacrosse capital of the world. Do you know Nick Polanco? I think I asked you this
Yeah,
already.
I know the name. I don't know him personally, but it's such a small like frat.
Yeah,
So even if I don't know him directly, I know somebody that knows him very well.
and you coach now still.
Yeah.
Nice. I watch the videos.
Yeah.
A little stalkerish, but I watch the videos.
No, it's fun.
All right, so videos. Did we?
Oh, so anyway,
talk about-
never
go back to
finished
Vegas.
anything.
So Vegas,
I
we
do
spent
that.
a lot of time
Okay,
there.
so we spent a lot of
educating
time
ourselves.
learning.
Not
we
getting
learned
wasted,
everything.
yeah.
We came back and we hit the ground running with videos.
The two of you guys together.
Yes.
Okay, so you
Our
just
Before
first
we even
video looked like we
had
were
any
doing
clue
the
that we were
news.
just gonna, I think ultimately, the reason why the two of us work well together is we're different. I like to think of myself as, well, you play craps, or do you know craps?
I know of craps. Yeah, I don't know how to play it though.
All right, craps to me is chaos, but it's controlled chaos.
I like where this is going. All right.
That's how I think I work and my mind works. I'm
Yeah?
controlled chaos. Just throw things at me, I'll get it done. But structure, not so much.
I can relate to that.
That's where Rebecca comes in. It's structure. You know, she's got a schedule. She has to go by the schedule. You get her off the schedule, she has to be back onto the path.
So organized chaos meets organization.
Right.
Is why it works. I
I
fucking
would
love
think
you
so,
guys. I do. All right.
So we start doing our videos. We decide one Friday that we get all the camera stuff and we sit down in our office and we're trying to do this video.
We have lights, cameras, tripods.
I think we put some stupid sound
background.
behind
Of course. We tried to do a Facebook Live before this went on. That backfired miserably.
It was.
Yeah.
It was so bad.
It was like we were doing a news. Yeah, like we were doing the news.
And but
yeah, like we have a blooper from it, and it's like basically Aaron and I behind the desk. I'm like, "Hi, I'm Rebecca Cohen,"
And I'm Aaron Bates.
and it's so cheesy that we
did
crack
spend-
ourselves
I think
up.
we spent 4.5 hours doing.
did that thing get
on
airtime?
Friday night.
Did that end up anywhere?
No, I
but we
literally
have so
I
many
spent like
blooper videos
6
from it.
hours editing it, and I was like, "It blows."
We gave up.
Like, it's awful. We put so much time into it, and it was awful. And I was like, and he's like, "What do you think we should do? Do you think we should post it anyway?" What
Yeah,
do
you
think?"
should.
And I
That's
was like-
awesome.
and I was like, I think we should throw it in the garbage
No.
and start all over, which is what we did.
You should post it now.
I have posted a blooper from it.
Because at this
Blooper.
point, you guys you have a rep. You're there, right? So like those are like the old
we
days.
have so much
we have
material.
so much blooper
It's
material. Like my
just have to-
computer is so like full of material,
She
and
had
I
to
need to delete it. And he's
delete
like,
some-
"Don't delete the bloopers. Don't delete the bloopers." I was getting delete happy.
I think the biggest thing like people need to know with this stuff, people get all like I think nervous about it, and you guys kind of prove that you have to have fun with it, right? Like it's supposed to be fun. All this
Yeah.
stuff, like if you're working or doing whatever, it's supposed to be fun. If you're miserable and you take it too seriously, it just doesn't make sense. Like for those of you who didn't see our car karaoke, I don't know how that came together, but it was freaking dope. And now all I want to do is sing with people. Like there's Chris Pesci, he's a commercial broker from
I know.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bro, you
I
ever
actually
see-
know his wife.
You ever see that guy like sing? Like
Yeah, he does those videos where he plays piano and sings, and
he is nasty.
amazing.
Really good. So I follow him and like watching him. Like, you're the man, isn't Nobi? I'm like this weird creepy stalker who's like, sing for me. So the other day I was like, after I did your video, I was like, that's it, I got it. And then I went to go see that Lady Gaga movie.
How was that?
Oh.
It was awesome, but it was fucking sad. It was really sad at the end. You guys got to see it. Anyway, so did you see it or no? No. Really sad.
Never seen movies.
But the point is, I've been screaming her part in my car in the shower ever since. So I'm like, that's it. I'm like, Pesci, He's like, what? I'm like, learn this music. I'm going to get a wig. I'm going to dress up as Lady Gaga. You have hair. I don't. So you could be Bradley Cooper, grow a little bit of stubble, and we're going to sing that, and I'm going to belt it out in your basement. He hasn't called me back on that yet. That was actually, that was a message I left him. And typically he calls me back, and he hasn't called me back since.
That's great.
So I don't know exactly
what
the reason was, but we're doing it. Pesci, like it or not, I'm dressing up like a woman, and I'm going to sing in your basement.
That's not creepy at all.
No, not at all.
Have you ever talked to him outside of reaching out to him, asking to sing a song with him?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, no, he would call me, and we would like I hit him up on Instagram. It's weird. Like, I kind of I meet people through Instagram or Facebook. Like, some of my closest like friends in real estate I've met through Instagram. Like, I'm really close to Beth Lowe.
Mm-hmm.
I think she was my second podcast guest. And I saw a thing on her. She was like top 40 under 40, or maybe, at the time. And I'm like, a friend requested her, and then I just kind of like creepily weaved my way into her life without her saying no.
Right.
Being able to say no. You're giving me a look like you're a freaking creepy man.
I was just thinking, oh, he's kind of a weasel.
That's a little creepy. Actually, I'll tell you another thing that I do, that people don't know, which is, I mean, it sounds a little creepy, but every time I meet somebody, that's why you see that stack of business cards over there. Every time I go out and meet somebody, I immediately go back, and now this is when you know you're getting old, because I will go back and I'll go to Facebook and I'll friend request them on Facebook, because I kind of feel like Facebook is like reality. Like, if you can't see somebody every day, that's a way of kind of like, being part of their life and then being a part of your life in a not creepy way. Let's keep reinforcing that to myself. And now what's depressing is you go on there, you meet like the newer agents, and you'll go on Facebook to friend request them, and they're not there because young people don't have Facebook because we're old. Young people have Instagram. And then you can't stalk them in the same way on Instagram because you need to know what their handle is. So it just throws my whole plan out of whack here.
Right. I can understand that.
What, mean?
Yeah, we're...
Like, you respect my creepiness, or...
No, I mean, before
right.
I did our video, I had only ran into you at the bagel shop before. I kind of stalked you a little bit.
We ran into each other at the bagel shop?
Yeah, but you probably don't remember it because you ran into Aaron, and it was like, oh, hey, this is my partner, Rebecca.
Oh, no, that wasn't the bagel shop.
That was at Library Cafe.
Oh, it was lit.
Library Cafe. In Farmingdale.
It was. Yeah. I was thinking it was that Stuff a Bagel.
What Stuff a Bagel?
It's the bagel shop in Farmingdale, right down the street from the Library Cafe.
We're in Farmingdale. Shout out to Farmingdale. I love Farmingdale. I think I would like to live in Farmingdale. You live in Farmingdale?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
My kids go to Wilbur Parkway, right down the street from here.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I didn't even know there was a school down there. I don't really leave my office much. But, all right, so you guys, it comes together.
Yes.
Dreamweaver, all that. It starts working. Bad news anchor footage morphs into what we have here. And then I want to talk to you guys about just, like, teams in general, right? So I consider them partnerships. Mm-hmm. So I've never done a partnership in anything. I really I don't love it. I cringe only because I feel like either one partner ends up doing more work than the other, or like maybe I have a weird control thing where I'm like, all right, I need control over everything. But you guys work, right? And I'm just curious to know, I think other agents want to know, because I think like you guys were saying off air before, like it's becoming a bigger thing. Like people are starting to more partner up. So like, does it make sense from like a financial perspective? Does it how do you guys get it to work?
Well, I think that the first thing you have to understand is that we provide a service. What we do, it's a service. So providing the highest level of service is what's important to us. And whenever you have a team and you have systems in place and you have structure, you're able to provide better service to people.
See?
No,
yeah.
it's true, though.
Now I understand what you're saying.
No, it's absolutely true, though. Service is the number one thing. And I think that's what a lot of people lack. A lot of other agents lack with their customers and clients.
Like buying a house is an experience. And especially your first time you ever buy a house. It's a big deal.
It's probably the biggest purchase most people ever.
$500,000.
It's freaking nutty.
For these first-time home buyers.
I know.
That's a lot of money.
I don't even know where it comes from. Like, I sell these houses, and I'm like...
It should be good experience.
Where is this money coming from?
Right. It should be positive. It should be happy, and it should be as easy as possible.
And the transaction from start to finish is so terrible. So you're just trying... I feel, there's so many ups and downs, and what we're trying to do is be the quarterback of the whole transaction and just try to keep everything together and try to keep our buyers and sellers from jumping off the ledge because there's so many things that get fucked up.
This is why I'm not, in all seriousness, this is why I am not an agent. This is why, because people are like, oh, bro, you sell these houses, you could save all this money. And I'm like, first of all, that doesn't make sense. A, although I understand why you're saying it. But B, I don't want to deal with the, like, it's a lot.
It's a lot of emotions.
You need a lot of patience.
Well, that's where I think education comes in huge for you because you have a ton of patience. I have a lot of patience. I thank my father for that one.
You're a patient guy.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine you getting riled up. You ever seen him ticked off?
Yeah.
Like mad? Like yelling?
Yeah.
No, she thinks I yell when I go up like one.
Because she's so used to you being baseline is like on the floor. So
speak low, like
he does speak low, but like
I can't imagine him getting pissed.
No, but he's actually able. Like I get riled up, I get upset, I get emotional about things, and he
is the calming
force. So calm and so steady that he'll like
come back down to earth.
And this is why it works, people.
Bring me back down to earth. Yeah.
And this is why it works.
But we're both pretty patient.
So as far as like who you guys work with, you guys represent, I mean, obviously you have an extensive distressed real estate background, right? And then do you guys, I feel from the outside world, I feel like you guys have like a healthy mix. Mm-hmm. I think you guys work with like flippers. I think that you do some distressed stuff because Cruise does have a lot of REO product. And then you guys work with a lot of first-time home buyers, which I think is important. I think like in every business, you kind of have to have a mixed bag. Like I had Drury on here the other day. You know Drury? Rich Drury?
Yeah, yes. Great.
He's the man, that kid.
I'd like to meet that guy. He seems, 23 years
old.
Young
He's a powerhouse. Powerhouse. Unbelievable, like heavy-duty short sale, REO background at 23 years old. Like I wish I knew what it took to be great at 23 versus probably figuring out about 30. I feel like I would have been a professional hockey player at that point. Do you know I played hockey?
20. I love hockey.
I played ice hockey my whole life. I got to thank my dad for that. He's in the next room, but shout out to that. 5:30 a.m. practices on a Sunday. You really appreciate your father for doing that later on when you're 38, going to be 39 years old. Not so much when you're like 8 doing it. But where the hell was I going with this?
We were talking about Rich Drury.
I know, but there was a reason why.
He's a young powerhouse.
Oh, mixed bag.
Mixed bag. Like, none of us were thinking 23.
Thanks for bringing it back.
Let's hustle like that.
So I was saying mixed bag. Like I was like, listen, Rich, like what you're doing is awesome, bro. I was like, I respect the hell out of you. Like I don't know anybody else doing this at 22, 23 years old. I don't even know how you did it. But don't be a one-trick pony because the market is always changing. That's why like I learn every aspect of real estate investing, right? Because I feel like, all right, regardless of what happens with the market, and we see what's happening with the market, I'll be able to buy this or do that and kind of put my investors' capital to work and make money for myself and the people that I care about and take care of because I have that knowledge, right? So you guys are kind of in the same boat. I'm like, Rich, don't just do REO. You need to have a background of everything. So you guys are basically doing that perfectly.
Yeah, like we both have, strong points and everything else. And the reason why we work with a lot of first-time home buyers is, I think the age. We relate with them on so many different levels. And they're getting what they want, I think. And then we work well with sellers. Because we're there every step of the way.
Present.
Yeah.
Investors. Hard. That's what I started with. So I know the way they're thinking. I know. There's a dollar amount to everything.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. And the cool part about there being two of you guys, and you guys have equal, energy, focus, passion is there's always somebody there regardless. Like one of the things that frustrates me. I mean, nothing really frustrates them anymore, but some things that like used to frustrate me or I know frustrates the agents that sell my properties for me when, right, whoever brings in the deal sells the deal is that you'll have an open house and people will come in and you'll show them everything and it's your job to get the house sold as the listing agent and you're happy to do that. But then like their agent doesn't ever come, doesn't call you, doesn't come to the home inspection and just like shows up to get a check. Right? So the moral of the story is this. Buyers. If you're looking to buy a house, you get 2 for the price of 1 with the big. Oh shit! I fucked
Aaron Bates Real Estate.
Aaron Bates Real Estate? Is it?
That's the name of our team. Yeah. Aaron Bates Real Estate.
Aaron Bates Real Estate team. Sellers. If you're looking to sell your property, you get 2 for the price of 1 with
Aaron Bates Real Estate. That's
what I'm talking about. Equal passion, equally as good looking on both ends of the spectrum. It's a win-win-win for everybody. It's a triple win situation. What are we going to talk about next? Where's this going in the future? Like, what's the next level? So you guys are like, all right, cool. You're crippling social media. And I really mean this. People like buyers, sellers, you should really check out their social media page because you guys, I feel like, are always giving relevant content. Like, you guys are always doing... It's one thing to do videos for the sake of listening to yourself. It's another thing to actually literally give good content. Right? So I genuinely feel like you guys are giving good content.
Yeah, I mean, that's our goal. That's really our goal, is to give as much content to people because we have the same conversation with people over and over again all day. They can get all of those conversations online too and figure out, what they want to do next. But, most people start shopping for a home like 12 to 18 months before they're really ready to buy a home.
Yeah,
so if they're seeing our content in those 12 to 18 months, they're going to have some of that education before they even get to us. And then we'll be able to teach them even more and help them even more. Which
is cool. And I also think that kind of like, I'll say speeds up the process, for lack of a better word, not in a bad way. Because I think a lot of realtor frustration comes from like, in my experience, there's a cycle with buyers, right? So buyers come into the market and they're clueless as to what's going on. And then they have to like look at an X amount of houses before they're like, okay, we understand what's out there. Now we're going to make an offer. Then they make a couple offers and like the offers are lower. And then they have to like lose a couple like real close ones to be like primed and ready.
They have to be burned.
To go for it. Especially like in a competitive market.
I had this conversation the other day with somebody. I said, almost all of the first time buyers that we work with have to get burned once or twice before they realize that they're just shooting too low.
Salt in the wound.
You got to come up that $5,000. It's nothing.
Which, in the 30-year mortgage is
$25 a month.
If that.
To come up $5,000.
It probably
come
is
up $10,000.
She probably knows that. I don't think she would say it if she didn't know.
Yeah, Aaron knows it because he drilled it in my head. Aaron is the numbers guy. Aaron knows the numbers. He's all about the numbers. He knows the numbers for everything.
No, but to put that same thing in perspective, are you going to lose a house for $5,000? $5,000 to any one of us in this room right now is a lot of money out of our pocket right now. But over the course of 30 years,
it's nothing.
It's $25. So what is that? You not going out to lunch one time in the whole month? That's what my lunch would probably cost.
Breaking it down to the ridiculous. You know what's the cool thing you guys also do? And I'm not just saying this because we're in this room doing it, but I know you guys in like real life, not just on this show. Which is you're very like complimentary of each other. You'll meet a lot of people that are like partners or teams, right? And one's always like shit talking the other one, like under their breath. You guys don't do that. You're very like supportive of each other and complimentary of each other, which is very nice.
I don't think that I could be a partner with somebody that I didn't think highly of.
You know.
Works well. Now, the future of it though is we're trying to figure out that third, because we've had 3 and 4 like other pieces to the puzzle.
You mean as far as like other agents that work along with you?
Or admins or everything else.
Scaling is a bitch, man, in any business. I will tell you.
It takes, and it's a lot of learning on our part, though. It takes, I'm sure like when you started bringing on employees, it's a big learning process to learn how to bring on an employee and do it well, and
I got to tell you, scaling
pick the right people, teach them, train them, keep them.
Gives me agita. I mean, scaling any business, I think all businesses are pretty much the same, right? Because people always look at me like, how do you buy houses? It's the same way that like you guys get leads. I buy houses the same way that you guys get buyers and sellers, right? The way Coke sells Coke, Pepsi sells Pepsi, Joseph Abood sells that sharp-looking blazer that Aaron's wearing. Right? It's a process, and like once you understand the process for it, you're good to go. I don't know where I was going with that again. That was another part, but it doesn't matter.
Well, I think that the point you were trying to make is that it doesn't matter what business you're in; it's still scalable.
Oh, I know what I'm talking about.
You can take any business, you can apply the same concepts and grow it.
I gaze across this mic at Aaron with his blue eyes, or at least I think they're blue, and he just knocks me for a loop, and then I forget my whole train of thought. Just goes out the window.
Completely understand exactly.
Goes out the window and back. So what I was talking about is the scalability of every business. It's really hard. I think that's the hardest part of what I've done. So like to your point, you have to hire the right people, and then you have to train them. Be like, yo, I don't have time to train you because I'm trying to sell 3,000 houses or buy 3,000 houses. So like, I'm going to throw all this in your lap, and I hope you're like intelligent enough to figure it out. It's just, but there has to be a training process. Like, did you listen to Christina Shaw's podcast?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
She's gangster. Now she's like a savvy, just amazing businesswoman who like seems to totally have it together at all times. That's why I'm like, listen, I need to know. And I've known her for 25 years, right? She was my neighbor. So I'm like, yo, I need to know like what your training process is. She's like, like she laughed at me. Like, what training process? Like, just throw it in their lap and hope they freaking figure it out. I'm like, thank God. Makes me feel so much better. But it's really hard. Like managing people as you scale is very difficult. And then as you scale, it becomes a more expensive process. So you have to do the volume. And now you have like indirectly potentially hundreds of people that are relying on you that you essentially feed and give a life to. And it's a lot of pressure.
A lot of pressure because if you fail, they fail.
Can you tell I'm under pressure right now?
Under pressure.
Is that our next car karaoke song? I prefer Justin Timberlake personally. But
me too.
So what's the next step here? Is it are we thinking at some point brokerage? Are we thinking like we're going to bring other people on? We want to further expand this and then kind of help educate and bring up other agents?
We want to build a team, but we want to build a team of agents who are
hungry.
doing the same, who are hungry and who want to offer the same thing that we want to offer people, which is the whole client experience.
And that's rare.
Right. I mean, we're not.
Well,
we're
what
not
is it?
26,
27,000 agents in Long Island or something?
27,000. The other day, I realized how much, how crazy of a business it was to be LIBOR or MLS.
They're
what's that?
Just getting phone calls.
What's
constant.
that? What's the building on
West Babylon?
Yeah.
The LIBOR building.
Yeah, I was in this thing the other day where they were doing like for Captain Permit, they was doing this this thing for new members, and they made like a comment about like the profitability, and they're like, oh, we have 27,000 realtors, and they're like, I was like, how much are LIBOR dues?
$600 $25 a year.
I did the math. I was like, Jesus Christ, this is the best business in the world. It's like $20 million a year plus everything else.
Especially since 90% of them do less than one deal a year.
Yeah, I say 5% of the realtors, of the agents, do 95% of the business.
Yeah.
Right.
So I don't know where I was going.
It's crazy,
but again, it doesn't matter.
A lot of competition out there.
No, it's a lot of competition. I mean, this is New York too. Listen, I'm going to say this, and you know what? I think you guys can either shoot me down on this because you're not from New York, or you can back me up because you now live in New York. I genuinely feel like New York is the hardest place to do anything. I really do. I think it's the most competitive, most cutthroat. You know, New York, I'm talking about the boroughs into Long Island. Long Island, not as bad as the boroughs. I feel like it's harder to do anything here than it is anywhere else.
Yeah.
You going to support me on that or not?
No, I agree.
It's possible.
I
just think
50%.
that I have a different perspective in general in that I think that it doesn't really matter how hard it is, and it doesn't really matter what your competition is.
I like where we're going with this.
Because you write your own story.
Bam!
You know, you do your own path.
Bam!
You're in charge of it.
This real estate thing. You wake up
This
every single morning starting a new job.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Because we don't get paid a paycheck every single week. Our fate is solely on us and what we do every day that we wake up.
And you have to have a belief in it, because there's a period of time, like you start as a realtor, and then you have to like go out there and get clients, and then a client has to like a house or want to list a house, and then it has to go under contract, and then it has to go through the whole process of dealing with the attorneys and everything else, and then actually closing before you get paid. So like you have to have faith. Yeah. So at the beginning, there's probably like a 6-month lead time if you're gangster to when you're really getting paid for the first time.
I think I didn't have a paycheck for the first 9 months.
Yeah.
Where I actually physically saw $1.
And then I was like, boom, 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 right after that.
Yeah.
She was like...
And then once you have that pipeline, you're good. But like the point is, you have people that want to do something, right? But like in order to be successful, you kind of have to have this like delusional vision of like what your life is. You have to essentially be able to look, day one, Rebecca needs to look 9 months down the road for getting that paycheck and saying, I know I'm going to do it, and believe in it. And every point during that 9 months when you're by yourself, taking care of your daughters, like boom, like this is going to work in order to get there.
So
right. Yeah, and just like any business ever,
the whole time.
But just like any business ever, you have to spend money to make money.
Yes.
So if you go into it thinking that you're not going to spend money to make money, then you're completely wrong. Because my first year in real estate, even though I did make some money, I did not make enough versus what I spent.
Yeah.
It was a loss. Like most businesses, your first year, it's a loss.
But it's a building block. I mean, as you're burning money, you have to be believing the entire time, like, all right, this is gonna work. This is gonna work. Like it's not an easy thing for anybody.
Right.
My first year was Sandy hit in my first full year.
Was that a good thing or a bad thing?
I took it as a positive I mean, I ended up going because no one was buying houses.
I wasn't in the business.
I made something.
I wasn't in the business at that time, so I didn't know what went on.
I started going into like places like Oceanside and Island Park and stuff, and knocking on doors and meeting people and wholesaling houses.
Really,
investors that.
Smart.
It's the only way to kind of survive at that point.
Flood zone houses. If you're going to buy a flood zone house, you got to call Captain Permit. Because there's a whole, especially in Nassau County, there's a whole bunch of things that could go horribly, horribly wrong. Like, you don't want to get that letter that says you have to raise your house. Yeah. Jesus Christ.
And that's still happening.
Crazy.
Yeah. And how many years has it been?
I don't even understand it. Dude, I don't even think that's, like, constitutional.
It's crazy, right? All of a sudden you bought... And I think... If you bought a house and didn't know that you had to raise it, like let's just say you bought it yesterday, and all of a sudden you're the one that you're gonna end up flipping that bill. The new buyer, the seller's gone.
It doesn't even make any sense.
Right. I think
at the time you didn't have to raise it, and then all of a sudden you bought that house.
You bought it when it transfers ownership, then the house has to be raised. Is my understanding.
No,
certain houses.
They don't find out about that. It depends on the extent of work. Like if you buy a house and then you're gonna do a certain level of renovation after it, if the building department deems that exceeds 50% of the value of the structure itself, not the land, just the structure, as deemed by the tax records that they have, not like an appraiser's records, then they'll say if you want to do X amount of work, you have to raise the house or scale the scope of work back. Okay. So like, unless you have somebody like Captain Permit, you don't know these things, and you could possibly raise your house. Shameless plug for Captain Permit.
But you can call Captain Permit before you even put an offer in and find these things out.
Exactly. At what's the phone number? I keep forgetting it. 516-513-8838. You'll speak to Ryan, my brother-in-law, who has the most unbelievable beard you've ever seen on Long Island. You guys seen his beard?
I have.
Have you?
I have because you took a picture of it. I saw something on.
It's like Brooklyn hipster meets wood whittler, but it's like super soft. It's. I can't get it. I don't know. I can't really grow a beard. It kind of comes in looking like dirt.
Yeah, I know that.
That's what happens as you get older. Except if you're Aaron Bates, all the hair on the top goes. And then you just can't grow the beard to kind of balance it out.
I hope I don't lose my hair.
No, I think you're good, bro. That hairline hasn't moved since you were 16 years old. That thing's strong.
You should see if I had my ID on me, I'd show you.
Long hair?
Long
Surfer?
hair, don't care.
Did you ever see him with the long hair?
I met him
that's when I was
after that
awesome.
phase of life.
Do you prefer clean cut, Aaron? Or...
Well, I mean, I never saw him in real life. I only saw pictures, but I think he looks awesome.
Yes,
I was a badass.
We're going to post a picture. Ladies, we're going to post a picture for your viewing pleasure of Aaron Bates in a moment. But I got to run because I got to do a Captain Permit speech out for the good people in Laffey. If you're a broker and you would like to have Captain Permit or the Handsome Homebuyer or both, I can arrange both at the same time, believe it or not. Come in and do a spiel. I promise to be at least entertaining, if nothing less. Give me a call, 516-777-SOLD. I bring bagels, I bring candy. And that's pretty much that. Let's finish it out. I want you guys to give them your contact information. Buyers, sellers, really, I don't bring anybody on this show. I don't. These guys are a powerhouse team. They're amazing. They're great people. I consider them friends. I think they're basically setting trends in the industry as the young hustlers. They're people that you want to work with, want to be involved with. If you're an agent who's looking for some guidance and you're like, you know what, I'd really love to join a powerhouse team, you see that they're putting something together right now. I would reach out to them, give them a call. At the very least, I'm sure they're happy to give you advice, have a conversation, and where it goes from there, who knows? I think they're pretty much set. Did I say it all?
Yeah, you were awesome.
Great.
You were fantastic.
They need your info. Give it to them.
Our info. You can find us on Facebook, facebook.com, Aaron Bates Real Estate Team. You can find us on Instagram, Aaron Bates Real Estate Team. Phone number 516-497-1841.
Say that phone number one more time.
516-497-1841.
With conviction that time.
And Aaron Bates, 585-230-5601.
All right. I'm Charles, the Handsome Homebuyer, and Captain Permit. That's a wrap.
See ya.